Welcome to the Smackdown review there, everybody. I am your host, Andrew Purcell. This, as always, is like somewhat handsome Doug today. He's not that handsome today. He looks like he hasn't shaved in a month.
Oh, fuck you.
Anyway,
What are you talking
anyway, today on today's show, we talk about Roman Reigns not being there. We talk SmackDown main event being AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight versus the Bloodline. Only two of them, though. Right? Bayley loses again, and more. So let's get started. First off, I want to see how our friend Doug is doing. Doug, how are you?
I'm good, man. It snowed today. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive it. It's a real pain in the ass.
Doesn't bother me. I walk everywhere.
Yeah, well, you should get a car to realize what kind of a pain in the ass it is. Anyway, so SmackDown opened up today with Paul Heyman and the Bloodline being in the ring and going, why? Why, Mr. Aldis? Why are you putting our tribal chief into this fatal four-way at the Royal Rumble? And Nick Aldis came out and basically gave him a reason saying, if you think you're the one in charge here, you got nothing coming, in other words. So Nick Aldis basically said, well, because you guys like to do all this stuff, you think you run everything, tonight there will be a 3-on-3 match with Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Roman Reigns. To which Paul Heyman suddenly bloody replied, Roman Reigns, is not here. In which all this said, well, then go find yourself a third guy. Or face 2-on-3.
So,
Doug, thoughts?
Do you remember what the original Roman match was going to be at the Rumble 21?
Supposed to be Randy Orton versus...
No. He was supposed to go one-on-one with Adam Pearce.
Oh, okay. So, what 2021? You said 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, so I misheard you. I thought you meant this year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So he basically ended up making Kevin Owens, and that's when they had the last man standing match.
It was a good match too.
What I understand, what I'm seeing here, this is all eventually leading to Roman Reigns versus Nick Aldis.
I don't think Aldis is the one that takes the title off him.
No, he'll just be another challenger.
Although
provided
Roman has the title.
Right. I think eventually this is all leading, whether it's title or not.
Yeah.
I think this is all leading to Aldis versus Roman at some point.
Probably.
I was confused when Nick Aldis came in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't you bring this guy in as a wrestler?
Well, I'm like, partly because he wants to have spend more time at home.
I don't know, maybe that's it, but like, he's still one of the top talents in the world.
Yeah, he can still go for sure.
Nick Aldis ain't nothing, man.
No,
he's not like an Adam Pearce who, sorry, dude, like he was like in the top indies of the world, but like, he didn't get much exposure in North America.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm sure most people before the video package, before that Royal Rumble supposed match came in.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people just assumed, like, didn't know Adam Pearce was a wrestler at one point.
That's probably true.
Right? Like, I knew because I'm a nerd, but so yeah, I think ultimately where all this play between the Bloodline and Nick Aldis is heading is at least a 6-man tag match with Aldis leading one team against the Bloodline. That's something you can do before you eventually break up the Bloodline.
That is true. You could do that. And like I said, we both agree Aldis can still go. So I wouldn't be surprised that is in the cards. Now, where that happens, before WrestleMania or after is the question, because a lot of words have been coming out lately about Roman's, well, specifically his cousin. We all know him as the most electrifying man in the history of sports entertainment, The Rock. And apparently that match is not going down at Elimination Chamber, as suspected.
Yeah, so actually,
which
you
leads me
read
to,
my mind
which
because I
leads
was
me,
going to bring this up.
and we were going to bring this up more when we get to the main event, folks, because this is going to have some implications on it later. Anyway, second match of the card. LWO, in other words, the former Legado El Fantasma versus the new Legado El Fantasma of Garza and Angel. So it's a good match. It really showed up. Return to Carlito. Carlito came back in the match. Started
When's the
beating
last
up
time he was
Escobar.
seen? Like when he got taken out by Escobar?
Yeah.
Before Survivor Series?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Jesus.
And so he came back, and yeah, he did a match there, and he came back, beat up Escobar. So it's going to continue on the storyline there because Ray's going to be out for a while. So you can almost tell that Carlito's probably going to be the leader of the LWO for the next foreseeable future until Ray gets back, which I'm fine with. I don't have a problem with Carlito at all. You know, I wish they would have kept his music. I know he's on a record saying they wish they would have kept his music too because it's comical. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Still funny. So
Let's say Cool Whip.
Say Cool Whip. Yeah, you gotta emphasize the H more. Cool Whip. You know. Anyway,
I love when you agree with that.
So it was really good. So after that match was over, they had a little segment in the back with Paul Heyman, where Paul Heyman was basically asking Carlito for his services for tonight, and offered him an apple. And Carlito was like, "No, but I'll take the apple."
But thanks anyway. For the apple. Yeah,
it was good. It was funny.
That's pretty much when I tuned in.
Yeah, it was pretty comical. Match after that though, Bianca Belair reigniting her rivalry with Bayley, and
you don't want to talk about the setup of Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory?
I think I came after.
Whatever. Anyways, Bianca and Bayley.
Bianca and Bayley. Bayley's probably getting turned on at the Rumble.
Oh, I think it's coming.
It's coming at the Rumble for sure. It has to be. The way they're looking at her. She's seems to be the only one that's losing.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like Io Sky and Dakota Kai are the ones really calling the shots in this thing, not exactly at Bayley. So looks like Bayley's gonna get probably thrown out of the Royal Rumble by, I'm assuming, Kairi Sane or Asuka or
both
all of them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the Rumble with Bayley. Because as much as I think Bayley should probably win the Rumble, I might not happen. Or if it doesn't happen at the Rumble, if she wins the Rumble, then you're going to see the turn for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, honestly, I actually really like this match with Bianca.
Probably one of the better ones.
This was probably the best match on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the subtle nuances, I love how they're playing this from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah. With
Damage Control. Because we thought the turn was going to happen right after Survivor Series.
Yeah, we thought it was going to happen at Survivor Series after the Elimination Chamber.
But I'm glad that they let this build.
Yeah.
I'm glad they let this build a little more, and I think the payoff at the Rumble is going to be very satisfying.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good because if they don't do it by eliminating her, if she wins, they might attack her then. So that'd be interesting to see what happens. I expect that match to probably go on first.
Right.
Actually, we did mention before that was a quick promo by Logan Paul stating that he's going to sue Kevin Owens for hitting him with a foreign object because he has a cast on his arm.
Yeah, and that was followed by, after the match, a promo by Kevin Owens.
Yep.
Who's inviting him onto the KO show next week.
Yeah, and that has been confirmed for next week as the KO show will be on. I love the KO show, just like I love when people like and subscribe to our content. It makes this things a whole lot easier.
Oh,
It
you had to
allows
try
people
hard for
to
that one.
allows everybody to give us more ideas, more content. Helps us out, helps the channel out a lot. Thank you very much for those you have, and please like and subscribe, enjoy the content. Moving on to the Bobby Lashley promo. Bobby Lashley is a full out face here, and we got a name.
The Final Testament.
Exactly, for the group of AOP and Karrion Kross. And I gotta say, I like Karrion Kross. I like the AOP. I do like this group right now.
Yeah.
I just hope they use them right, and they win. They need to win feuds in order to continue momentum and not just lose. Like Bobby doesn't need to win this feud. Karrion Kross probably needs it more. At this point, same with AOP, especially if you want to establish AOP and Karrion Kross as a very dominant faction to rain havoc upon everybody. So I think they have to. I don't think this would hurt Bobby at all. Same with Street Profits. I think their popularity enough is high enough. It's funny because they're supposed to be known, from what I understand, as the Pride. From what I get, but like, yeah, so I heard there's something about the Pride. They're called the Pride or something. I don't know. We're gonna find out more later on about this. But they're definitely like. I think they need to lose this feud. I think Karrion Kross and AOP need a lot more, especially if you want to establish those guys as a dominant force.
Yeah.
Right. It was good though. Like, it was a really good, cool package. They really hyped up AOP being this destructive force, and Paul Ellering being like a horrible human being.
Yeah. What's weird to me is like how you flew Paul Ellering all the way here just to stand at the top of the ramp and point.
Yeah. They've done worse.
You couldn't have just cut the lights and play the video package like you usually do.
Yeah. Might have been in the area. I don't know.
But anyways, right after this, Bobby is approached by Paul Heyman. And Bobby states that the only time he's going to fight with the bloodline is when the bloodline's on the other side of the ring, and the only one he's dealing with is Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So he's still coming for the title.
And he should be. In fact, you know what? I wouldn't be upset if Bobby did ever. We don't know who's going to throw Roman Reigns right now. We're thinking it's going to be at this fatal 4-way, right? But I wouldn't be upset if it was Bobby Lashley did it.
I'm also not surprised. I would not be surprised if Roman retains too.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I would like. I don't look. I don't firmly believe you do not need to have a title involved in order to have that match with The Rock. You do not need a title involved. It does not need it.
No, but you know as well as I do, the title make it even bigger, even though we all know who's winning that match.
If Roman, look, I would rather have Roman lose the title at Rumble, and then go in that match wondering who is actually going to win that match. Because if Roman has the title, Roman's probably going to win. But if Roman doesn't have the title, it makes it more intriguing to see who's going to actually win that, who they're actually going to do that to. Like, it just makes it more interesting to me.
It's always going to be Roman. There's no situation that makes sense for The Rock to go over.
Of course, it makes sense. If there's no title involved, it makes sense. It makes more sense for The Rock to go. It makes more sense for The Rock to go over if there's no title.
Yeah.
If there's a title involved, it makes more sense.
When is Roman going to get his win back?
It doesn't have to. What the fuck's he need it for? Don't need it. Doesn't fucking need it. Not the slightest. He doesn't need it. You can't sit there and tell me he needs it.
Works.
Of course, I understand how it works. I'm just saying he doesn't need it though. It doesn't need to be done. But who knows? We'll see what fucking happens. All right, everybody. So after that, we had Carmelo Hayes versus Austin Theory in a very interesting match. I think I might have been away from my TV at the time doing something, but
so I'll take you through this, man.
Yeah, there was a no contest. Apparently, something bad happened.
Yeah, so the match was it was like maybe 5 minutes in, and you know that springboard Spanish fly that Theory does?
Yep.
Off the top. Well, he goes up to do that, and Mello loses his footing on the top rope, comes down wrong, and they clashed heads.
Oh.
when they hit.
They
And
basically did a giant cocoa bump.
yeah, and the ref actually called it off.
Yeah, it's probably best.
Which was a safe move. And again, I hope they're not banged up too seriously.
No, that's kind of shitty for like Mello.
That's
really
2 in
going
2
on.
weeks, man.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty for Mello too, just because like it's really only his like third or fourth match on the main roster.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of shitty. Hopefully they're all well. Hopefully everything's okay. I'm sure it's just a little bump on the head, and they should probably be fine. I'm sure.
So you want to talk to me about this Tyler Bate and Butch meeting at the bar?
Let's talk about that really quickly here. Tyler Bate basically sat down with Butch and had a nice conversation about how I know you. Hey, this is not you. And quite frankly, you could tell they're going to start pushing towards getting rid of the Butch and bringing back what I want, the Pete Dunne, which is great.
It's just the man's name.
It is, but you know what though? To me, it's just the name alone is better than Bush.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It was good when he was a kind of like
Butch is a bushwhacker name.
Well, not even just that. Just like he's like kind of like the grunt.
Yeah, and Pete Dunne's so much better than just a grunt.
Right. Anyways. Main event time.
Orton
comes out, gets jumped by the bloodline.
Yep.
Samoan Spike sent to the back. We come back. It starts as a normal tag match. LA Knight gets taken out as AJ's about to go for a tag.
Yep.
And they start arguing. Then they both go down, and out back comes Randy Orton. Yep. Gets the hot tag.
Yep.
Does
Randy Orton
eventually hits the RKO. They win.
Yeah.
After the match, they all took turns doing their finisher on Jimmy. Then they all took their turns doing their finisher on Solo.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to put Solo through the announce table with a shield bomb, triple power bomb.
Yeah. It's, you know what? I don't give a damn what anybody says there. It's, to me, that's a shield thing. You just gotta leave that shit alone.
No, but they did it on purpose.
Of course they did, but I'm just saying it's a shield thing. It should be just left alone. Just because
you don't break it out very often.
I'm a shield guy. I just want to see the way the shield do it.
But like to me, it's like,
like I think my favorite shield bomb was, I want to say it was I think it was Survivor Series. Before the Shield got back
to AJ.
Well, yeah, before they got back like together, right? And I think Rollins was still a heel. I think it was Survivor Series. I can't remember if it was, right? But like,
if it's the one it's on AJ Styles, right?
I think it's on Styles. Where like Ambrose was still there. Ambrose and Reigns were beating up. I think it was AJ, right? And all of a sudden,
okay. So what had happened was,
and Seth's like, let's do this, and they do it, and they all look at Seth after it's done, like because he's all celebrating the return of the Shield, and they just beat up Seth.
So you're actually missing up two of them. Or unless the one you're thinking of went to Randy Orton when they were all in a fatal 4-way match.
It might have been, but like I know they weren't the Shield at the time.
But still, my point is LA Knight and AJ and Randy Orton are trying to pose as much of a threat to Roman's title as they possibly can. Speaking of Roman, I think regardless he wins this match, because he's not advertised for Australia.
No, he's not.
So the idea of having Rock and Roman at Chamber is completely out the window.
Yeah, that's not happening. Which also makes sense as to why you could have him lose the title because of this too. You could have.
Do you know where I really think this is going, dude?
I just don't know. I just don't know if you want to take a title that way off Roman. I just don't know if they really want to do it.
We might actually be getting 2 Roman matches at WrestleMania.
That's the rumor right now too. Now I wonder if they're gonna do it back to back or one night one, night two.
Absolutely, they'll do night 1, night 2.
Yeah, but at the same time too, though, you're gonna piss off a certain superstar that
Punk.
recently just came back. Yeah, you're gonna piss off Punk with that stuff there because he wants the main event at WrestleMania, right? That's the last.
So you put
In his mind, that is the last match on the show.
okay. So guess what? You put Cody Roman right before Seth and Punk. Or you put Roman Rock right before Seth and Punk.
You could do that. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying that's which the bigger match.
Box office?
On top is why it's Roman versus Rock,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, that's why I'm asking, right?
That's why
If you're talking in terms of a weekly
if
story,
you're gonna do Roman 2 nights, he has to lose. You do Roman Cody night one.
this way you can sell if he has doubts going
Yeah,
into the Rock match.
if you want, you can even do Roman. You know what? You know the way is instead of, you know what you could do, instead of actually having that way you keep Mr. Phillip Brooks happy, and you do what happened a number of years ago when Seth took on Brock in the first match of WrestleMania. You do Roman versus Cody first. First match of night one.
Right.
You got a first night one. Then you have Punk and Seth close it out. Night one, and then night two, your final match of the card is Roman versus Rock. That would be the most logical sense to me to do it.
Yeah.
To keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, Roman has said on par before, have me first or have me last. And Cody has gone on record saying he doesn't care if he opens up the show or closes it, or he's in the middle of it. Cody doesn't give a shit.
Honestly, man, that's the best plan that I've heard about this in amongst pretty much all of them. That's like the best case scenario for everybody involved.
Yeah, everybody's happy, right? Like,
Yeah.
because like I said, Cody doesn't give a shit if he goes on first, second, third, last. Doesn't matter. Roman's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Right. But the only problem with it though I see is that you kind of shock everybody for the whole night. It was like all fucking night.
But that's the thing. They have the talent now, dude, where they're just gonna put on a killer me.
Yeah.
Like last year's was fucking killer.
Yeah.
There was like
actually the last couple of WrestleManias have been fucking good.
So good.
Yeah.
38 was good. 39 was good.
Cody coming back. I mean, I know you're like a little girl because you're so happy when Cody came back.
Girl.
So I didn't say you screamed. I said you're like a little girl.
I just thought it was really well set up.
Yeah, like the whole Cody thing was when Cody first came back. That was cool, and that was like a big ovation. You know, because I mean, that's not a bad way to do it. If you do Cody versus Roman first match on WrestleMania night one,
yeah,
Punk can still get his main event because it's the last match of the show.
Yeah,
and then the next night after that, you do Roman versus Rock because that's the biggest match of that night for sure. There's no name one match to be bigger. Not one.
No,
not one. It doesn't matter who it is. You know what I mean? Plus, who says you have to have both titles on both nights? Just put both women's titles then on the fucking night too.
Yeah.
Right? Because to be honest, if it's Jade Cargill who gets in the Rumble and does win the Rumble, and she goes against Ripley, that's a big match. You can have that for night two in the middle.
I didn't expect us to start booking WrestleMania.
I'm not. I'm just saying in general. Exactly. Speaking of which, next Friday, we will be doing our Royal Rumble picks. right after SmackDown. No, Rumble's after that, 2 weeks from now. And 2 weeks from now, my apologies. I got my days
We'll do our
confused,
Royal Rumble
We
preview.
do our Royal Rumble preview and picks, and we'll be deciding who we think is going to win the Royal Rumble. Now it's going to be interesting to see. I think we kind of have the same answer, but we're going to see where it goes.
On the count of three, say your answer. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think Punk's going to win it. I think it's foreshadowed. We'll see. Anyway, folks, that was the SmackDown review. That was the SmackDown show. It was a good show. It was a good show.
Show.
Nothing really crazy happened. They set up Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul for the Rumble more of that too. It's gonna be the Kevin Owens show next week should be very interesting. Roman Reigns,
my favorite.
Yeah,
because lately they've just all turned into work shoot promos.
Yeah, so it was a good show. Everybody enjoyed it. I think everybody had a good time with it. Doug, take us out.
You can find the show everywhere except Apple. Follow the show at DA
Apple's
Sports. Well, I'm just honestly.
Eventually, we'll get on to Apple, everybody, and Apple will be like, "Oh, we're so sorry for you." Shut up. Continue.
You can find the show on Instagram, DA Sports Podcast, DA Sports Pod on X. Follow us on YouTube, DA Wrestling Podcast. He's April 1982 on Instagram. Andrew at DA Sports on TikTok.
Follow me on TikTok. There's some good stuff on there.
I am D-Lines 1991 on X, and we'll catch you down the road.
And Guardian Liviosa. I got to think of something different.